Good morning, homeowners. This is Scott Warner with the Warner Roofing Show. In today's episode, we will be talking about what you have to do to maintain your shingle roofing system, your metal roofing system, and your gutters on your home. Let's talk about shingle maintenance first off and foremost. If you have trees surrounding your home or hanging over your rooftop, this causes mold, moss, and premature shingle failure. It makes your shingles curl and deteriorate and wither away. You have to keep the tree branches trimmed away from the sides of your roof, so that way it doesn't cause moss buildup on your roof, because moss deteriorates your shingles. You have to make sure that you keep your roofing system and gutter system unblocked from leaves, sticks, any kind of debris for proper water flow. To keep the water running away from your basements, your foundations, and your landscapes. The correct way to maintain your shingle roof is to have it inspected at least 2 times a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And then in the spring, after a rough winter, you have to make sure there's no lifted shingles, no popped nails, no missing ridge cap, and that your ventilation system is correct. You gotta make sure that all your baffles are inside your attic, and all your blown insulation, if you have it in your attic, is pulled a foot away from your ventilation systems. If you do not have correct ventilation, like I said before, it makes you wear your roof out prematurely, which causes um, curly shingles and dry rotted plywood, mildew, and all kinds of different condensation issues in your home. There's several different ways to correct your ventilation system. Super simple, super easy. But you got to make sure that you get them systems inspected at least twice a year. Make sure your gutters are cleaned at least 3 or 4 times a year, because the leaves in the fall, especially, plug up your gutter systems. And when your gutter systems plug up, water overflows and then gets into your attic, gets into your basement, ruins your landscape, and ruins all kinds of stuff that you're not even aware of. Um, so to properly maintain a shingle roof is just make sure it's inspected. Make sure all your shingles are sealed down. You can do a lot of the inspection from the ground, or you can have somebody come out and walk it, inspect it, make sure there's no soft spots on it. I would do that at least once a year, have it inspected by a company, um, someone that's going to be trustworthy. They can come up, walk it, check your plywood, check your shingles for different things, check your valleys, make sure your flashings are all good, make sure your chimneys are all sealed up properly, make sure your side walls and everything are all sealed up good. Because make sure your roofing boots aren't cracked and all your pipes and everything are all intact on your roof. Because with heavy snow weight, I see it all the time. It'll pull your pipes and stretch your roofing boots out. So a lot of times ice and snow will sit behind it and it'll pull the whole pipe right away from the boot, and that causes water penetration to get inside the penetrations. Um, so that's how you inspect and maintain a shingle roof. Now with metal, every year or two, you got to make sure you're checking for um, all your metal is not crushed in by ice damming. You got to make sure that all your rubber gaskets are still there and intact, good. If you got a screw down metal roof, make sure your valleys are properly flowing and not blocked with nothing. Make sure that all your flashings are correct around your chimneys. Make sure your rubber boots are still good and not deteriorated and cracked. And make sure you have an orange boot over top of any hot pipes coming out of the roof. I seen one the other day that had a regular roofing boot over top of a hot pipe, and it's supposed to be heat temp rated for any kind of hot pipe that you're going through your roof. You're not supposed to put a regular metal roofing boot on a hot surface. I'm surprised this one wasn't melted. It must not get as hot as I thought it did, but it looked partially like it was getting wearing away. You gotta check your ridge cap and also check your ventilation. But the biggest thing is to make sure that there's no loose metal, valleys are sealed down properly, your sidewalls are good, everything's sealed up, especially boots, chimneys. any kind of penetrations that's going through your roof. That's where most of your roof systems fail, and bad and improper ventilation systems. So make sure you're checking all that out, guys. And that's how you maintain and check your roofing systems. In upstate New York, we have severe ice damage, snow, and wind, and a lot of rain. So you got to be making sure that we're inspecting all this stuff, especially after a heavy winter. That's when you really want to inspect your shingle systems, because a lot of times you have people coming out, and I see it all the time, and I repair this stuff all the time. Is guys coming out, beating ice and snow off roofs, putting holes right through the metal roofing. I've changed like probably several roofs over damaged metal. I replaced it at least 4 or 5 sheets because people put hammers right through their strapping every 2 foot that beat the shit right out of that metal, and it causes a big hole in your metal, and they're wondering why your roof's leaking. I see edges all wrinkled up and busted up from metal. I see shingles ripped off where they beat the ice and snow and took something and put the pick forks or whatever they used on it and ripped the shingles right off. I just fixed one the other day that had a bunch of shingles that were ripped off from ice damage, and then a bunch of metal damage everywhere. People just beating it. If people don't know how to properly clean off your roof in the winter time, call a professional company to do that. Don't just hire anybody to clean off your roof. It causes you thousands of dollars in damage. It doesn't mean I know that you don't know where to look or where to turn to, but call a professional roofing company, one that specializes in cleaning off ice and snow, specializes in installation process of a roofing system, because you don't just want to hire Joe Schmo to come up there and knock ice and snow off your roof. They damage your metal, they damage your valleys, they damage everything up there. And you don't know exactly what they're doing. They're just trying to get the ice and snow off for you. They're trying to help you out. They're trying to make a quick buck in the wintertime, but it's just costing you money. I've just replaced the whole one side of a house with metal because somebody beat it up with big sledgehammer, pitchfork, whatever. There's holes all throughout the metal. I've done a couple of them. I did another one. Company went out. I'm not gonna say who it was, but a company went out. They did a metal roof. They strapped 2x4s over an addition. They built the addition. They strapped it with 2x4s and they metaled it. No baffles, no ridge vent, no friggin' plywood over top of it, no insulation in the ceiling, and nothing. They just went 2x4s over it, metal. No paper, no ice and water, no water barrier, no nothing. I was surprised because the company's usually a pretty good company. So I'm not sure what happened if they weren't checking out the team or what it was, but they didn't do it. They had to go back. The lady was upset, her roof was leaking, and it was a brand new addition. And I pulled metal off to change just like 3 or 4 sheets that had holes in it. And for my inspection, I found that there was no plywood underneath it. So that whoever she had do the ice removal beat the hammer right through the metal because there was nothing underneath it protecting it. So we had to go back, take the metal off, put new wood under it, new paper, new metal. So it costs a lot of money, guys. When you're hiring companies to do the work, make sure you're watching and paying attention to what the hell's going on with photos, documentations, and reports for your review. If you don't have that stuff, you don't know what's going on under your roofing system. You're just buying a roof with a promise that it's going to be done right, and not everybody keeps up to their word. A lot of companies will go in and they'll tell you that they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and they don't do it all. And then come to find out, a year later, you got issues. I see it all the time. People tell me, "Oh, Scott, this roof is just 3 years old. It's leaking." And I go up there. There's no flashing around chimneys. They seal them. There's no proper sidewall flashing. It's sealed. There's friggin' chimneys that have no caps on them, which causes issues. There's all kinds of little problem areas. Pipe boo's not done correctly. I mean, you name it, I see it up on these roofs, and there's a lot of problems with people just slapping stuff together with a promise that that it's all done right and they're gonna warranty it. And then when something fails, the company doesn't come back because they don't want to warranty their work. They got the money and they run. So get a reputable company when you're hiring a roofing company. Do your research, check it out, and ask the questions that you need to ask. What they're using for paper, what they're using for ice and water. I say it every time to you guys. I want you guys to know. I bring it into your head. Make sure that you're checking your roofing company out. Make sure that they're the fit for your home. They're gonna take care of your landscape. They're gonna take care of your siding when they're stripping roofs off. They're going to use the best products they can use to put back on your home. They're going to check your ventilation systems, make sure that the ventilation is correct. They're going to use a good shingle that's going to be at least 140-mile-an-hour wind rating, algae protectant, algae resistant shingle, so that way it doesn't cause mold and mildew, and mossing. And just make sure that it's done with everything step by step they need for the manufacturer's warranty. The 5 points of products that they got to use that we talked about on the last show. Just make sure that it's done properly, guys. This is Scott Warner with the Warner Roofing Show. It is Sunday. I hope everybody has a great day. Hope this little maintenance tip on keeping your house roofs clean and shoveled off in the wintertime. And all the things that we just talked about chimneys, about gutter cleaning, about tree trimming, and all that stuff helped you guys learn a little bit more about how to keep your roofs protected after the seasons that we have in upstate New York. Thank you very much and have a great day.